Coming up, all about Cabana Bay. I'm sorry. Why did I say Cabana Bay? Volcano Bay. I get those confused all the time, John. All right. Volcano Bay. Coming up. Volcano Bay. Welcome to the SeeWDW Near and Far podcast, where we explore perspectives of the Walt Disney Resort from 10 to 1,000 miles away. I am Mike the Far in this equation.
And I'm John the Near.
Man, I stayed at Cabana Bay in the past and really like it. Really like it a lot. And maybe that's why I had it in my head. I don't know. But
a lot of these pictures, you can see Cabana Bay in the background of too. It's
a great resort. Let me just say that. And we will talk about it at some point. But just fun fact, I didn't tell you this yet, John, but it looks like that's where I'm leaning to stay when I come down for horror nights with my daughter in the fall. So
that'd be a good place to stay for that.
Yes, it would. And they have some kind of special photograph experience there, apparently, that they've come up with for that event at Cabana Bay. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I heard about that. They actually have been doing that. They're like adding some unique experiences for horror nights at the hotel.
Yeah.
So very interesting. I heard about that last year, too. I never saw it, but...
I did at Dockside. They had just like some cardboard cutout type things with some of the Universal monsters. But what they really had that was cool, two things. Number one, and we're not going to turn this into a Horror Nights episode right now. But what was really cool is the drinks. They had adult beverages that were special at each resort. And also they had the resort dining halls and cafeterias open really late. They were like open till 2 or 3 in the morning to take care of guests that were out late. Disney does not do that for their special events ever. So I thought that was really amazing that they did that.
Yeah, that is nice, because I'm sure I would be hungry late at night getting back from horror nights. So.
Yep, absolutely. All that walking, all that screaming. All right, John, we are going to talk about Volcano Bay. An amazing a bunch of information, way more than what I thought I would find while doing research on this place. I know it's a special place for you and your family. As you know, you've been there many times, and you know, you have lots of stories about the place, and you're going to really, I've never actually been there. I've been there to Cabana Bay, and I've stayed and looked at the place, have lots of pictures from a distance from a hotel room that overlooked the park. But, I would really like to go there at some point. And I know, again, you've got a lot of information on it from experience.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, is part of what you're going to cover how to get there?
It is not, but that is great. So why don't let me do a brief little overview of the place, and then let's talk about that. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Because that's great. I did not even think of that, and that is a trick, right?
That'd be a good first thing, at least, and then we can get into the technicals. So.
All right, cool. All right, so Universal Volcano Bay, it opened on May 25th, 2017. And as I was saying to you, John, that is 2 days before Pandora World of Avatar opened at Animal Kingdom over at Disney. It is a tropical oasis nestled within Universal Orlando Resort, offering an enchanting escape into the mythical world of the Watori tribe. With the majestic Krakatoa volcano as its centerpiece, the water theme park boasts thrilling water slides, serene lazy rivers, and vibrant beaches, all woven together by a narrative that transports visitors to a Pacific island paradise. Through innovative technology, captivating theming, and a unique virtual queue system, Volcano Bay promises an unforgettable experience where guests can enjoy exhilarating rides, indulge in Pacific-inspired cuisine, and bask in the sun-drenched ambiance of a vibrant tropical getaway. So what sets it apart from some of the other parks, due to innovation, theming, and guest focused design? Number one, the wearable, the Tapu Tapu wearable, the Krakatoa volcano, the immersive theming, the varied attractions such as such as the water experiences, including the exhilarating drop slides, the serene lazy rivers, wave pool, etc. Cabana rentals, unique dining options. There's relaxation areas. You've never told me about those, John. Have you hung out at any of those relaxation areas?
I don't do a lot of relaxing. So
the other thing that we've never really talked about, or I haven't heard about, was the live entertainment. Apparently, they have live entertainment here every once in a while.
I have not seen that either, but I try not to go when crowds are really high. So
yeah, well, these features collectively contribute to Volcano Bay's reputation as a cutting-edge, story-driven water park that offers a well-rounded blend of thrills, relaxation, and technological innovation. All right, John, how do we get to Volcano Bay?
Well, I figured I'd tell you quick while we're at the beginning, just in case anybody wants to know. It has its own unique spot in the parking garage. So when you go to the parking turnstiles, whatever you want to call them, you need to tell them you're going to Volcano Bay, and then you follow the signs and you park on a lower level, and it's all marked with signs. I think it's Spider-Man 1 is where you would do it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But they have buses, big buses for Volcano Bay, and I've never had a wait for this. Like, they're very quick. Whether it's crowded or not crowded, there's not a long wait for the buses. And it's a very short ride. It's probably, like, I'd say less than 5 minutes, because Volcano Bay is on property, but it's located, it's located in such a place that technically I could walk there, but I don't think you're allowed to do that. But anyway, there's a very short drive. They take you to the bus stop at Volcano Bay. You go through security there, and then you go underneath a tunnel. And this tunnel is actually under a road. Like, there is a road above some of this. I mean, not the whole thing. Obviously, there's no road there, but part of it, you go under the road. And again, it just goes to show you how they nestled this thing in. Like, you have to drive over to it, and then you go under a road and then up. And then from there is a escalator to take you up the rest of the way. And then that's when there's a short path after the escalator, which gets you to the Volcano Bay entrance. And again, I don't know how they did a great job with the layout of this park. Like, here's the entry. This is where the turnstiles are, where you scan your tickets and stuff. But it feels like you're very far away, and really you're not. Like, they just do a very good job with that. And I think the theming is great. So it's I really do enjoy it. And then from there, you walk down a short path, and actually, I wonder if this here, I'm not even 100% sure what this is. Yeah, this is actually walking out when you first get there. This is the area as you see it. So, yeah, you can go straight ahead to the volcano, and then it kind of goes in a loop then, but it's very like I said, it's very well laid out. And we talked before the podcast. I still don't know if I've been everywhere, and yet it's not that big. So.
Well, speaking of transportation and how to get there, I will mention that if you stay at Cabana Bay, I believe they have their own unique entrance. Yep. So that's an advantage to staying at Cabana Bay. The other thing is if you stay at any of the other resort hotels, they have buses. So those buses that you see from the parking garages, say Volcano Bay, they actually have unique, they have bus loops like, like the parking garage does. So, I've stayed at Dockside, before, and they have a bus running, it runs pretty frequently when the park is open. So they have the, of course, the parks bus, the regular parks bus, but then also the Volcano Bay bus. So again, like you said, I'm not sure about walking. If you can walk there, I don't know.
I've already walked all the way to Cabana Bay, and then there was a sign up that unless you have a room key for Cabana Bay, you can't go into that main tower where you can access Volcano Bay. So yeah, it looked to me like you need to be staying there, which makes sense. They don't want people just wandering in.
Yeah, so it's interesting because they have an interesting way of kind of gatekeeping entrance to it. That's really kind of gives you that feeling of being safe, secure. Nobody's going to steal your crap or anything like that. So that's cool. You're going to be a paying guest. All right. So next, I was going to talk about, are you ready for the story behind the volcano and behind the people, John? Is that, all right. So let's delve a little bit into the volcano itself and how the people relate to it. The fictional backstory of Krakatoa. How do you say that? Do you know how to say it? I think
that's correct, but I can't pronounce anything. Don't worry, it's all fictitious, so you can't.
That's right. I'm not going to offend anyone.
You're going to offend the fictitious people of Krakatoa.
All right, the fictional backstory of Krakatoa Volcano at Universal's Volcano Bay revolves around the ancient Waturi people who discovered the island and its towering volcano. The Waturi people are depicted as a brave and adventurous tribe with a deep connection to the water and a strong sense of community. According to the narrative, the Waturi sought a new home and embarked on a perilous journey across the Pacific Ocean. Guided by the mystical golden fish Kanuku, I'm thinking that's how you say it, they eventually stumbled upon the island dominated by the majestic Krakatoa volcano. This awe-inspiring peak became both a spiritual center for the Waturi and a source of life-giving water. Legend has it that the Waturi honored the volcano's powerful deity Vol by offering precious pearls as tributes. These pearls, symbolizing the island's harmony and life force, were placed in the sacred ceremonial pool at the base of the volcano. The Waturi also believe that the eruptions of Krakatoa represented Vol's excitement and blessings. The Waturi people's reverence for Krakatoa and their harmonious relationship with the island's natural wonders set the stage for the theming and attractions at Volcano Bay. This fictional backstory adds depth and meaning to the park's design, providing guests with an engaging narrative that enhances their overall experience. Basically, John, their connection to this volcano through this story, it's very It's multifaceted. I mean, they're covering spiritual beliefs. They're saying it's a life-giving source because of the water and all that. It has cultural significance because of the way that the volcano shapes their life and their traditions. They cover adventure and exploration because the Wattori people set across the Pacific, exploring a new home or looking for a new home. So by weaving the Wattori people and their relationship with the Krakatoa volcano into the fabric of the park's designs and attractions, Universal creates an immersive and enchanting experience that transports guests to a mythical Pacific paradise. So, John, I did not realize that the story was this involved. I just thought it was a water park with a Polynesian theme or something,
No, and I think, in my opinion at least, I think the fact that they created a very deep background story with this, a very involved one, really helps tie everything together. And I like that. And again, it's like those things that Disney does, and I assume they still do to a point where you may not know the story per se, but you can feel everything is themed and has a reason. Like there's no feeling of walking around here like something doesn't fit, something's not right, something like it all just flows. And again, I feel like even if the story is even if most people don't specifically know it, you can almost feel it. I just wanted to show you my Waturi native annual pass pin back when they gave
That's pretty cool.
They had it at Volcano Bay too.
It's funny all those things that you said, because I wrote in my personal notes that this storytelling, this is how you create emotional connection. You create engagement, a consistent atmosphere, and it helps connect the guests to the rides themselves, right? It helps to create that story enhancement, of each ride. You have personal investment, and also you are experiencing, even though it's make believe, it is another culture. So that kind of opens you up a little bit, right?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I just feel like it goes a long way for the feeling of fun, for the feeling of you're getting away to another place. And again, I've been to Disney's water parks and I've been to Volcano Bay. I think Volcano Bay is much better. Disney does a good job too, like with their story and stuff. Although I heard that they randomly started adding Frozen characters in, so they kind of killed the story at Blizzard Beach, but I think that's where it was. So I heard the guy from WDW complaining about it.
Well, because the last thing in my personal notes on this matter, this is what it does. And you talk about it all the time, online and offline. When you use IP from your movies, those memories that you create are not unique. They're an element. Just it's like window dressing from an IP from a movie, right? And when you do something like Universal's doing here at Volcano Bay, you're creating those lasting memories with something unique. There's something in our psyche, I think, we sink our teeth into things that we don't see every day. That helps us to create memories, So I wrote in here that the experience created through thematic storytelling, it leaves a lasting impact on guests, lasting memories of your vacation, of your theme park experience. They leave the park not only with memories of thrilling rides, but also with a sense of having been part of a grand and captivating tale and adventure. And I think Disney used to do that really well with original IP rides and things, but you don't get that sense anymore with the IP stuff,
That's what's
right?
cool about this too. It's 100% original IP. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out, Shark Boy. Look, it's half shark and then half kid.
Yeah.
I think people that go there a lot are familiar with this. He's way up on top of something. You got to look for him. But yeah, Shark Boy, he's up there.
That's cool.
That's part of the native lore there, I guess.
Yeah, that is really awesome. I just am impressed by their level of storytelling here,
Well,
and
I'm
yeah,
impressed by the detail too. Like all
yeah,
this
that's
is so everything is so detailed. Then again, I know they all do this kind of thing, but I just can't imagine the amount of time that it takes to make every layer look have a certain look to it. Like it's just it just amazes me. So I am very impressed with this park in general. Just the things they have around are just amazing, and they're all one of a kind, handmade stuff. So
it's very cool. I mean, you can tell, like, if you look at that, you could almost think that that sort of looks like something that came from a Mesoamerican culture, a Mesoamerican culture, but or a Polynesian culture, and you can tell they blended a lot of different cultures into this story and into this creation. So it's just really cool. They've really put a lot of effort into it, and it's not just jumbled up stuff thrown randomly around.
yeah, even these gators at the bridge, they're just very well done. Like they're made out of like stone, but they look like old hand carved stone pieces put together.
Hmm.
And again, it took a long time to do that, and a lot of parks nowadays would just put up a standard whatever, bridge. If
Yeah.
you're making a bridge, you just need a post for the bridge. But no, you need a stone crocodile. It's like that's not normal.
Uh-huh.
So that's really cool. And it goes everywhere there. There's detail everywhere you look. So
Very cool. All right. Let's talk a little bit about what most people go there for to begin with, which are the rides and attractions. Um, Universal's Volcano Bay offers a diverse range of water slides, rides, and attractions that cater to different levels of thrill seekers and those seeking relaxation. Here's some of the notable ones. Krakatoa Aqua Coaster.
yeah, and that's one that I've been on, and that's a fairly advanced coaster too. Like water jets push you up hills on it and down, and um, there's a part of it where almost every time I swear I'm getting air coming off the thing. So it's an intense coaster, but a lot of fun and one of the most popular ones there too. I do have one video of it, but I don't know where it is exactly. It was done with with my first GoPro camera. And again, it's before these videos, so I don't even know where that is right now. And it's not a great video anyway. And you're not
Well,
supposed to video on it either.
of course not. They don't. It's Universal. They don't let you video on almost anything. So, um, it says it goes through the heart of the volcano itself. So,
It,
you
yeah,
know?
it does. Yeah, you can see it. I don't know if I have any. Yeah, like I think here you. Uh, yeah, never mind. You can see it in these pictures here. Like that is part of it. Yeah, Amazon. Their stock just went up today, even higher than their real
I
pain
was
in the
gonna say you showed dark, so isn't the inside of the volcano kind of dark anyhow? Maybe that is where.
Well, this green track here is part of the water slide. You can see here. I think this might be one of the parts where you jump. You can see here it goes up and then it goes out here, and then you kind of get a little bit of air as you go down the hill. When the fact that you land going down a hill makes it feel like you're in the air even more, like you went even higher. So even if it's just a little bump, it's going to feel like a big one. So yeah, it goes right through the volcano, and I think that this is part of the track going into the volcano too. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say like part of the technical advancement of this particular ride is that they utilize a linear induction motor technology for the uphill sections, which you don't typically see that on water rides. It propels. You're in a raft on this thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it propels the raft uphill. It provides the
Well,
a
yeah, it
water
is.
coaster experience,
Yeah, it
unlike
is. It is.
traditional rides.
It is a raft. I think it's one person in front of the other. Like, and here you can see it from underneath. This is from the Fearless River. Looking up, you can see it.
Yeah,
Because in the
very cool.
Fearless River, you go into under the volcano too, which there's a lot going on under the volcano or inside the volcano.
That is really cool. All right, the next attraction is the Koakiri body plunge. That's one that you didn't believe that you had ridden, or at least didn't remember.
No, I remember looking at it, but I did not actually ride that one yet. I think I got in line for it once, and they told me that I couldn't have something that I had in my pocket or something, and they were like, "Well, you have to go." And I never ended up going back, but it's uh, it's a pretty cool one. It's one of those ones that pops you out at the end a uh, a few feet above the water at the end of the water slide. So you just go down. You don't have a raft with you, but you got a good 5 foot drop at the end. Um, yeah, I have so many video or pictures from Volcano Bay that.
It is described as one of the world's steepest drop slides. It plunges riders at the start through a trapdoor in a near vertical descent from the top of the volcano.
That one, yeah, that one is not one that I went on. That one is up here at the top of the volcano. That is where you go on it. And you see this tube here. You actually go down through a clear tube for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't go on that one because I've been on them at other parks, the trapdoor slides. And for me, it seemed like the water went in my eyes and in my face. So I basically just couldn't breathe or see for about 30 seconds till you get through. And I don't find that fun. If I can't even see it, it's like, maybe I need to buy goggles or something. I don't even know if you're allowed to wear them on there. So.
Well, the design it's meant to simulate a daring escape from the volcano peak. That trapdoor release is being a near vertical drop, man, and you're in a tube like that. I can only imagine. It probably sucks the wind right out of your lungs and right out of the tube, right? So
yeah, that's one I have not done yet, and not that I won't do it. If somebody ever wants to go on there when I'm at the park, I would be happy to do it. But
I would be afraid I would get trapped in that tube like Augustus Gloop from from Willy Wonka when he fell into the chocolate river. I probably wouldn't be doing that thing.
that is a good thing to remember. There are weight limits on a lot of stuff here, And like a lot of these tube rides, they
Mhm.
do weigh you. They don't tell anybody what you weigh, but you step on a thing and your group gets weighed and stuff. So there are, and it's done for safety. And we'll talk about this ride, but this is a good example. You don't want to ride this thing and, you know, say, "Oh, don't worry, I'm way over the weight, but I'll be fine." It's like, no, this would not be one you want to get floored
Yeah.
off or
Mm.
anything. So
I'm just looking at it. No thanks. You could go right over top.
actually, it looks like I recorded some of this too. This must be with my old uh, GoPro camera. I forgot that I did that. But yeah, this is the green one, I guess, and next to the blue one. I didn't even remember I ever went on that one.
So this is this the which ride is that? Do you
That's the
know?
one right next to the blue one. And the lines are right next to each other, and they let out right next to each other too. So I think the blue one is the turtle one, and the green one is whatever the other one is. I don't know. But
Is that the are you on a mat with that one?
no, you're in
Okay.
a tube.
Okay,
At
gotcha.
least I think I am. Although it does look. Yeah, you're in a tube.
Looks like you have some kind of thing though. There was something yellow there, so maybe it is. I don't know if you notice
Yeah,
that. Watch on your left hand side, right
yeah, in the
there.
yellow tube. Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Okay. So, number 3, as far as rides go, I have the Kala and Tai Nui Serpentine Body Slides. These are described as twin slides that send riders twisting and turning through tunnels, offering exhilarating and fast-paced experiences. Now, I'm assuming that's what we're looking at there. What
No,
you
that's
know?
not a body slide. I think this is the one that's the body slide. You notice how
Oh,
you come out of here with nothing and it
yeah.
shoots you
Okay.
out again, I think. But again, I never got on. This is the one that I never got on that I was telling you about. I got in line for it. Then they said, "Oh no, you can't have anything in your pockets." So whatever it was I was carrying, I was like, "All right, I'll go back," and I never went back. But this reminds me of the old water country rides where they drop you off from up, where there's actually a drowning uh, danger there. Like most water parks don't like any water to be deep enough because people that can't swim will go in there and just go, "Oh, help me." So, and I
Yeah.
assume this one is pretty deep if they're shooting you from that high up in. So,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm thinking because there's these have no mats or anything, so they'd be a body slide. But again,
Okay.
I might be wrong. I'm not an expert on Volcano Bay. I went there a lot, but it's just my guess.
All right, so the next one is the Hanuika Moana, which is a multi-passenger raft ride that simulates the sensation of riding ocean waves on a turtle's back or a giant wave. Now that is one that you've done, and that's the one that you looked at. You don't want to be overweight on, right?
Yeah, that is this blue one here where you look down and you can see um, it's you can see here you come out, you go up a big side here, you go down up another one, and I know it's perfectly safe, but when I'm in line looking down at this and I feel like I'm as high as these hotels over here and I'm looking and I'm like, what if it doesn't go quite right? I feel like I could fly right off the edge here. Like I guess you just have to depend that gravity and momentum work in a certain way where you're going to go this way and you're not just going to go, wait a minute, I made a sharp turn and I'm out. But I think that's why they're very specific about don't like kick your legs or push off something or try to grab a wall, because if you to me, I don't know. This thing just looks so dangerous. I've ridden it several times, and when you're on it, it feels fine. But I have to say, especially this first one, you're going up this big wall, and you look, and you're like up in the air, and you're like, this is nothing's holding you in, and it's just a piece of plastic. And my goodness, that's
That's
scary.
obviously designed the way you're walking up that. They want you to see that.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, this ride is scarier than like Velocicoaster, because look at that. Velocicoaster doesn't throw you up like 100 feet in the air and being like, don't worry, gravity will pull you back. It's like, no. Velocicoaster has you locked in a track with sensors all around and lap bars, and redundant safety. And again, I don't know how high up this is, but I feel like I'm right across from Cabana Bay's upper levels. And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I could not see that going on when I stayed there from the room. I didn't see anyone go over the edge, so I mean that's a good thing.
Drift in the air and fly
No,
I'm sure nobody ever has either. So,
all right, the next ride is Maku Puihi Round Raft Rides, which is described as a high-speed multi-passenger raft ride with unique twists, turns, and drops that provide an adrenaline rush. So I don't think you thought you rode that particular one, but
if these two are grouped together, then that could be what they call the green one. But these names are so hard for me to.
I know what you mean. I would never remember this.
Yeah, so I might have been on that one, but I don't recall.
So the next one is Tanawa Tubes. Man, these names. Boy. 4 twisting, turning slides with varying intensities, allowing guests to choose their preferred level of excitement.
Yeah, I think I've been on that. I didn't record
That's it right there. By the look of it, they look, similar, right?
That's only 2. This is only 2, but
oh, okay.
But there's a lot of slides there. But again, I've been here several times. I've spent a lot of time there, and I still feel like I don't have a great grasp of it. Like they set it up in such a way that it feels a lot bigger than it is.
Well, these names, they don't lend themselves to that. That's the one thing I would say. And it's part of the immersion of the storylines, right? So
yeah, it's part of what makes it seem like a happy, unique place in your mind,
Yeah. All right, the next one is the Punga Racers, which is a high-speed racing slide where riders go head-to-head on a manta ray mat sliding down the twisting course. So that one, I mean, maybe that was that last one. I don't know. That's one with 2.
With if you're going head-to-head, I'm picturing the more traditional, like right next to each other slides, but maybe not though. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever been on that one, but maybe I have.
So here are definitely things that you have experienced, though. The Watori Beach, which is one of these relaxation areas, right? And that's on your pictures and a lot of your Instagram stuff. That would be the beach where you take a lot of video of the volcano and things like that, right? Where you get pictures and video of that.
Oh yeah,
like right there.
And it's very big, and it goes around the volcano. It's a very large area, and there's plenty of other beaches and places to sit too. Like after the first time, I don't think we sat there anymore. We would go sit closer to the entrance to the Fearless River instead, because that's where we spent most of our time. But
well, speaking of Fearless River, that's the next one, the Tiawa Fearless River. I've seen a lot of video of you at the Fearless River. I know you've done that a number of times, right?
Oh yeah, that is just a lot of fun and very intense. Like the videos don't really do it justice, but it's hard to stay above water on this thing, and this is one of the parts where you can get in or out, so it kind of stops a little bit. There's a few entrances and exits, so this is one of them here. And it takes you all around. You go through the right underneath the volcano. Just as you come out from the volcano, there's a part where it has like an additional like wave machine, and it comes right at you, and that's a memorable spot too. It has like sounds like some Polynesian guy yelling something, and then all of a sudden a wave comes at you and just takes you under, and it goes right through the river too, just right through, and just goes.
Hmm.
It's a lot of fun though, and this is where I spend most of my time when I'm there. After a few trips and going on the slides and stuff like that, this river turns into an absolute favorite because you just wear a life jacket and you float, and it's fast and it's fun, and there's just an awful lot to it. So
Is there like cave structures and stuff like that? I thought I had read somewhere before that they kind of have like these sort of alcoves or caves or something.
no, I think you're thinking of the lazy river.
Oh,
That one
maybe.
has that one is more cavernous with spots inside that are more unique like that. And weirdly enough, I really need to go through my videos. I'm terribly unorganized because I took a lot of video on the lazy river too. I don't know where any of it is, like from actually inside of it. And again, I know I have it somewhere. And
So on this one, can you touch bottom at any point, or is it just so deep that you're just floating the whole time?
I think there are parts where you could touch bottom, but you're going fast, so it can be painful. A lot of people say, and I've had it too. You come out of this thing with bumps and scrapes and things like that because you can't just if you put your foot down, it's just going to go on the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
And if you go against the side, it's not that it's sharp or anything, but people's skin gets pretty soft over time. There's me enjoying the sun.
I see that.
See,
My
and you
guess
can,
is you probably have a camera underneath there that you're
yeah, I
reviewing
think I was
footage.
looking at footage, and with the sun glaring at me, I couldn't see anything, so I was trying to download something. But over here, you can see the life jackets hung up.
Wow,
So
yeah, there's a ton of them.
this is one of the places that I go to that we like to sit because this is one of the main things we like to do. So better just to sit over by that.
Very cool. I get why you go there. The next one is the Copico Y Winding River, which is the lazy river we were talking about. You like going there as well, right? I mean, don't you like
I
kind of
don't go there.
relaxing and
I don't go there as much. Like honestly, I've only been a few times. I usually make a point to record it from the bridge, like just because it looks nice and all. And like I said, it is nice. I've done it already, but after you go into the Fearless River, the lazy river is just painfully slow, I guess. I can't find anything of it.
so it's too relaxing, right?
Yeah, here you can see
Oh yeah.
um, it's it's just floating by, and there's a lot to see on it and stuff. But again, that pace for me is just slow. I like the fast river and the out of control, and that's more my style. This is a very laid back kind of slow moving tube river. So, but it
Now
is a
the
nice one though.
so the Fearless River, you don't have any tubes, right? You're just floating with life
Yeah,
jackets.
you have to wear a life jacket, but no tubes in there.
Okay, gotcha. And this one, you don't have life jackets unless you can't swim very well, but you have tubes here that you can float on.
Yeah, and I don't even think you have to have the tube either. I don't think you
Yeah.
have to. You could just kind of walk or float if you want.
All right. So that one though, it is the one that I was thinking that might have some caves and caverns and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right? And some
it
features.
definitely does. And of course, I don't know where that particular footage is. I do have it somewhere, but I have not seen it in a long time.
So the last couple things that I have on this list of attractions that are there, these are largely kids for toddlers and young kids, but the next one is Runamucka Reef, a children's play area with bubbling geysers, water guns, and slides, offering a safe and fun space for young adventurers. So that is one that I have. And right there it is. Man, that looks pretty cool. Like my kids would love that place.
Oh yeah, just watch out though. If they're too tall, they're not allowed to do. I think it's like 48 inches or something.
Oh, they're I think they're pretty much over that if that's the
Yeah, so they
case.
got to go to the real stuff after that. But and I think this is the Tot Tiki area.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's called the Tot Tiki Reef, a whimsical play area for toddlers featuring playful fountains, slides, and a shallow pool. And that looks like exactly that.
Yep, very shallow. So they got spaces for little kids too. So that was a good idea. Well
Yeah, it
thought out.
was. Perfect. Yeah, it is. The last attraction I have is the Krakatoa Aqua Playground, which is a multi-level interactive play area structure with dumping buckets, water guns, and various slides for kids and families. So apparently that one you can pretty much be at any size to go into, but by the sound of it. But I mean, it's a playground, so it's mostly for kids.
Yeah,
So
I
there's the
haven't spent much time in there. Like I said, I went there with my with a family that we're friends with that has a younger kid. So I spent a few minutes in there, but for the most part, I haven't been in there much.
These attractions, along with others, create a dynamic and varied experience for visitors, catering to all different preferences and age groups. The theming and storytelling tie all of these elements together, making each ride or slide feel like a part of a grand adventure of the Wattori people and their connection to the legendary Krakatoa volcano. And I'm really impressed, like by the innovations and technology that they use here. I mean, this isn't just a bunch of slides installed for somebody to just slide down, with water or anything. This isn't like Action Park where you can break your neck. This is, this was a serious undergoing. Safety was a concern. There was everything. I mean, they've really put a lot into this. So, very, very impressive. All right. So next, I have just a little bit about the culture and cuisine of the Wattori people. As far as that goes, really we talked before this, and so there may be some iffy things about the cuisine of the Wattori people lately, right? Maybe the island isn't getting all the proper ingredients that they once did. Maybe it's because of I don't want to say the word, but maybe they got touched by the the recent events of the last couple of years. So,
well, I think it's just a normal thing that happens. Meaning, I remember when it first opened. Hold on a second. Yeah, when it first opened, all the influencers and people were there. I remember Craig and Rhino from the Diz. They said, we don't like water parks, but the food is so good that we would come back here just for the food. They had, all this tropical Polynesian type food, and it was very well done. And they began taking things off the menu, simplifying it, burger, chicken nugget, making it more and more common. And the last few times that I ate there, it's like, I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not that good either. It's no better than just anything you'd get at the other park. But there is, like you can see here, if they still have this stuff, turkey wrap, pork adobo, that sounds good. So you can get a little bit of different things there, but it isn't. It started out up here, and then it kind of dumbed it down to just all right.
Well,
But
it was intended to actually be part of the story and part of the cultural connection. And obviously that's kind of maybe gone down a little bit. It's not what it was. So
yeah, you can look at 316. The Krakatoa 225-minute is the wait.
good gravy.
That is why it's a good idea to use your uh, wristbands because you don't have to wait in that line. You just go up, you scan your whatever it's called, your
Tapu tapu,
tapu
right?
tapu, and then it tells you when to come back. And so you can go in the wave pool, lazy river, fearless river, whatever you want. Your wrist will beep. You come in and you have almost no wait. Unlike Disney, where they're like, now wait an hour. It's like, oh, come on, guys. We just waited.
So that is a major, and let's talk a little bit about that as far as crowd control. I have a lot of things about restaurants and things like that, but I'm not sure that I have confidence that the restaurant stuff is still there. You know what I mean? And so I can tell you that when the park opened, the menu and the restaurants were all designed to be part of this cultural experience, this whole story. But just looking at that menu that you have and looking right there, I mean, how cultural is Hawaiian pizza, jerky, shrimp, mac and cheese, and foot-long hot dogs? Not very.
Yeah,
So
this is what it turned
I
into
just,
for
I
us.
just don't believe that it's still what it once was. So now it just seems like it's kind of, done that backward slide that restaurants do
Good.
and theme
Yeah,
parks.
another good. I was gonna say that I remember going there once, and then before I went home, I went to City Walk and went to Bread Box and got something good to eat, and then went home. So it's one
And
of
I
those.
can vouch for Bread Box. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we talked about as far as ride innovations. There's a lot of different things that really no one cares about as far as innovations and safety and environmental considerations, water treatment, all these things. I'm not going to get into the weeds on that stuff, but what I would like to talk about, and it's something that we talked about at the beginning of the before we started, was the crowd part of this, the crowd control, and that's a major innovation for Universal. That Tapu Tapu band, how does that thing work, John? Like, how do you make that? Is it like a return time thing, or how does it work?
Yeah, it is a return time thing, and you can see from this picture here. This will give you a good example. Um, See this Copico winding river. That's a
Hmm.
slide. It says enjoy anytime. That means you can walk right up and ride it right now. No wait at all. With these other ones like the Hanu or the Krakatoa, 225 minutes. I don't know if they would let you wait that, but it would be really dumb if you did anyway, because everybody has a tapu tapu. So you go up to the entry to Krakatoa, and you scan your wristband, the tapu tapu, and it beeps, and then you have that ride set. So then you can go and eat. You can go and, like I said, lazy river, whatever you want, and it will remind you when the 225 minutes is up. And from my experience, when you return, there's not that much wait, not much at all. And you can see what you can do right away and what you can do to wait. It is only one ride at a time, so that's why most people go and they scan Krakatoa right away when they get there in the morning, which is smart. The first ride you should do is that 'cause it's going to take a while. So scan it, and you could even scan it before you put your towels somewhere and get ready. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but that is always the top ride, the Krakatoa.
So on the Tapu Tapu, is it linked to like your phone or the Universal app, or how is it? How does
It
it
is
work?
no, I'm pretty sure they link it to your ticket just in case they don't get it back. But you don't need your app or anything. It's not linked to that stuff. It's standalone because you're at a water park, so they don't want you to have anything else with you. So it's it works independently. You don't have to have anything set up with it.
Does it? Can you load like a gift card or a credit card or attach any kind of cashless payment to it?
I don't know, but I don't think so though. I
Okay.
don't think you can, but again, I might be wrong. I usually don't do that kind of thing, so I didn't look into it, but my guess would be no. But
Okay. All right. Now, a couple other things that before we tie this up a little bit and really talk to you about the overall experience. Um, do you have any tips? Any practical tips for people that are visiting the?
my I only really have one. Well, actually, I have two tips. One of them is um, rent a locker for your valuables. And again, I never had anything stolen from there, but I can't tell you how many times I've had my bag sitting there, and I'm in the Fearless River, and it's always in my head, and I'm like, oh, I hope no one. Let me look. It's like I have my wallet and my phone and cameras and all this expensive stuff, and I'm like, I could have paid like $4 and had a locker and just been so much more relaxed. And I keep thinking, spend the $4. It's not. It isn't worth stressing yourself out because, you know, Volcano Bay, crime can happen anywhere at any park, so you don't
Yeah.
really want to leave that stuff sitting there. So, again, I have never rented a locker yet. I keep taking the risk and stressing myself out. Going, oh no, what if somebody took my whole wallet and I got it? It's like just get a locker. I look back and tell myself, what is wrong with you? Just get a locker. It's like, but anyway, the other thing I was going to say is, um, I would recommend don't go in the summer. It gets to capacity quite often in the summer, and I've already been there on a summer day, and even the Fearless River, there was competition to get life jackets. As people are coming out, people are like, you need that jacket, you need that jacket, because that's how many people are at the park. You can't even get a life jacket. It is crowded. Everything is just extremely packed. And I think that it's not that pleasant, at least not for me. I don't like being in just extreme crowded places like that, especially a water park. It just, I don't like it. But a lot of the pictures and stuff that I showed from when I went, I am pretty sure it's in January.
Mm.
Yeah, January 10th is when a lot of these pictures were taken. And on this day, it was in the 80s, which happens all the time in Florida. You can't guarantee it, but all the time the water is heated, and the Fearless River is always really warm. Like, I don't know, they really heat that one up. But that's how I got these pictures and videos. It usually does not look this empty. Like, look at that. It's like, oh, just a
Mm.
handful of people. That's because it's January 10th. And I even heard Christmas is a great time to go. Like, people just don't think about it. It's like they go to parks and stuff on Christmas, but if it's warm, a lot of people just don't say, I'm going to go to Volcano Bay on Christmas. It's like, but anyway, the winter time is the best. And again, any month of the year, you're going to find hot days in Florida. It's hard to plan, but it makes a world of difference. It's hectic and crowded, or just an empty paradise of, enjoy your time there. It's like it's just great in the winter. I tell
Well,
people all the time on social media because they're like, "Oh, it doesn't look like that." It's like it does when I go there. It's not trick photography.
so let's say, and most people, let's face it, they go to a water park in the spring or summer, right,
Yeah.
or early fall. So let's say you don't have a choice, and that's when you are there. Any idea when the best time of day is to go?
I
Is it early? Is it late?
I would recommend if you do have to go in the summer, um, anytime it's open late, like it's open till 8 o'clock sometimes. As soon as the evening hits, like say around like 3 or 4 o'clock, it starts to empty out. So if you're there in the summer, I wouldn't go there in the morning. It's going to be a nightmare. I would try to go late afternoon and stay till closing. And at the end, you'll notice everybody kind of leaves because it just feels like you're supposed to leave. It's like, oh, it's 5 o'clock. We better get out of here. It's like, but that is the other thing I'd recommend that if it's open late, go the last few hours, and you'll probably enjoy it so much more than you would all day. In the winter time, it won't be open late because it's the winter, but it'll be empty in comparison to summer. It'll be empty anyway. So people just don't think about water parks in January as much, even though they should.
I would say too, they have cabanas there. And if you're looking for shade and to relax at a lounge chair, like midday when it gets really crowded, you can always rent a cabana. I'm not saying they're cheap, but
I never have. That's why that didn't even occur to me. But they
yeah,
do have very nice cabanas there. And I think when you have a cabana,
you get
people,
concierge service
yeah,
and
people will
stuff.
take your order and stuff. You can order food, and they're
Yep.
they're beautiful. Yeah, they're shaded, private. They're very nice. The cabanas there. They have a whole like section of them off to the side.
I have a couple practical things to think about. Make sure you pack your essentials like your sunscreen, sunglasses, hat, all those types of things. Don't forget a change of clothes. A waterproof pouch is something that could be very valuable there, right?
Yeah, definitely a waterproof pouch with some of your essentials in it. I think they have waterproof wallets and everything, but I think that might be one of the things where I had something like that in my pocket and they said, "Oh, not on this slide," because there was no mat or anything on it. So
Yeah, I would say other things you said about the locker. I think that's a big thing. Stay hydrated. You think you're in the water and you don't need it, but you're gonna need it. It's hot, and even though you're in the water, you still need to consume water. You're not drinking that water, so make sure you stay hydrated. A lot of people end up not even thinking about that. Um, and footwear like river shoes. Buy like river shoes, like sandals or something that you can get wet.
it's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
have
yeah,
good.
because if you usually just wear sneakers or whatever, you're all right for a little while, but your soft skin on your feet is not going to hold up well walking all around from place to place, slide to slide, and although I think you're not allowed to wear water shoes on some
Yeah,
stuff.
you can't wear them in certain areas from what I've read. It's just like the areas that you can where the sun's really going to beat down on your feet. That's where I'm thinking if you're in a chair or somewhere like that or going on walkways. So, we talked a little bit about height and health restrict, being overweight on certain things. So understand, pardon me, be aware of what that is before you get there. Um, Make a plan, like plan meal times if you're going to be there all day, take breaks, things like that. And John, I was reading that sometimes there's an evening show here. Have you ever seen an evening show?
I've never seen it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. I'm pretty specific on when I go places. So I
Yeah,
have never been here in the evening, so
has something to do with the something that happens at the volcano. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but I bet it's pretty awesome. Also, one other thing, cashless payment would be good if you didn't want to carry your wallet anywhere and you're going to buy food or something like that, right? So, if
Yeah,
you
yeah. I'm not
and
sure how that works, but I'm sure there's a way to do it. But
well, also enjoy the atmosphere like John is showing in his pictures. John's walking around taking pictures and video of all these awesome things. Go around, man. Look at this stuff. It's been designed for your eyeballs, and just take it all in. So also, it's a water park. Remember that flexibility is the key. Some attractions might have longer wait times, while others might be quicker. By planning ahead and staying adaptable, you'll be better prepared to make the most of your visit.
oh, and be prepared too that if you do go in the summer, especially, there's not much to do there when the thunderstorm comes through. It gets kind of people don't know what to do when everyone has to get out of the water, and it can get messy. So.
Yep, and that's true with anything. You know, a lot of the rides will shut down in the park, so you've got to be aware of that. That happens, especially in the summer, and that's something that I kind of had as one of my personal tips. It's if you're gonna stay on property and you plan to go to Volcano Bay, Cabana Bay is a great place to stay. And, it's convenient to this park. So you can just walk right back there if it storms and then walk right back in whenever the storm's over. And I'll bet you when the storm's over, the crowds are going to be a little light. So,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Cabana Bay would be a great place to stay if you plan on frequenting Volcano Bay. You can go in and out and, go take a nap while everyone else is just leaving the park and giving up.
yeah. So one last thing I'm just going to go over is what is actually there at the park. We talked about lockers. They have them. They also have towels. I read that they have sunscreen stations, so you can go there and get sunscreen. Have you ever seen them?
Not that I noticed, no.
Yeah.
And towels, I thought I brought my own towel there. I'm pretty sure we had to bring our own towels. So if they're there, you got to buy them probably because I'm pretty
Maybe
sure.
this might be dated info. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I brought my own. Like
Yeah.
we always had to bring our own. I think. But again, man, that's the little details that I don't think about because I go with my family. So
Yeah. They have the life jackets. They are complimentary, right?
oh yeah, those are.
Yeah. And there are shops there too, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's actually some nice stores there. Like I do like the stores and the merchandise. I don't know if I have anything on them. But yeah, they're there.
Yeah, that's cool. So, first aid, they have first aid stations. They, if you get a minor scrape or something, there's ATMs for cash withdrawals. They just have that stuff. I mean, so you're not really thinking about it, but there's a cabana, right?
Yeah, look at that.
Man, look at that. That is
cabana.
awesome.
Yeah,
That looks great.
down, sit down. You have a refrigerator or cabinets here for your snacks. You can scan something to get your order taken. You can control the fan. I guess there's a fan up top. I didn't catch that, but
My goodness.
very cool. And here's the store. Here's one of the stores there too. So
Yeah, cool.
lots of beachy merchandise.
It's almost like a little resort store. So there's the map, right? There's the map of the whole place too.
Yep, there's a couple sides to the stores too. Like there's a couple different ones, but nice though overall.
All right, well, John, give me an overall, like, you got anything to part with as far as the experience and what you think of Volcano Bay?
I'd just like to say I highly recommend giving it a try sometime. As you can see from this map, it's actually very small, but I have been here many times, and it feels huge when you're there, because like when you're here you can't see so much, and when you're here you can't see so much. Like the way they set it up, it feels like a fairly large park, and it's not. And it's you can see by the shape of it, it's just put somewhere where they could fit it. And I think it's over here. Here is actually I-4 is right next to it, and
Mm-hmm.
you cannot see or hear anything from it. I'm sure when you go way up on like the volcano to before you go down the trapdoor slide, I'm sure you can see the highway from there, because you can see the volcano from the highways. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just amazing how they did it. And again, out of all the water parks, this one's my favorite out of the Florida ones, probably out of any ones that I've been to so far. Like, this is my favorite water park. And I hear that a lot. And I'm not really a water park guy, but if I go to a water park, chances are it'll be this one. And I can tell you too, I added the water park option to my Disney Pass last year. I didn't go a single time.
Hmm.
I didn't renew that part. I was like, man, what a waste. I thought I'd go and just get some video and pictures for my social media, and I just don't never felt like going. I don't know.
They only have one water park there now at Disney anyways. They've had, they've rotated both of them to be closed down, year after year. So, yeah, it's interestingly enough, Universal actually bought at one point Wet and Wild, the water park, right?
Yeah.
And they owned that, and that was really part of what necessitated the creation of this particular park. And they just went all out. But Wet and Wild, the water park, actually sat where Dockside and Surfside Universal Hotels sit now. And interestingly enough, as I've sat at their pool, they have the pool bars are actually themed with the names of the slides at Wet and Wild, like the drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Wet and Wild was a very popular. I
it
never
was.
went, but for the longest time, it was like the original
Yep.
Florida water park that everybody loved. People went there as kids. I think my wife went there when she was a little kid on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know.
Yeah, it was. I remember it back in the 80s. You always saw commercials when you stayed somewhere. So, and had pamphlets and things like that. And you could see it, when you drove in the area, especially if you went to SeaWorld, you always drove by it. So, but yeah, okay. That should wrap up Volcano Bay. Again, this podcast, John, was about half of the information I dug up on Volcano Bay, so we could have really went in depth, really, really technically in depth in a lot of things. But I really think that in order for a podcast like that to happen, you almost need to interview somebody that was involved with the creation of, the technical parts of of Volcano Bay itself. And, maybe someday we'll meet somebody that would like to go in depth and we could talk to them about it. But, yeah, I am fascinated by Volcano Bay. This podcast, this research, it really makes me want to go there, way more than I've really wanted to before. So the fact that the story is there and, looking at your pictures and everything, man, it looks like a great experience. So I don't know. Maybe we'll make it out there one of these days.
Yeah, it's worth it. Like I said, in the wintertime, it's worth wandering over for especially, I don't know how much it costs to add it on to your ticket, but if it's like a 2-park ticket, to make it a 3-park ticket probably isn't that much different.
It's not a huge upgrade. It is, it's not too much. And the way they've been running deals, multi-park deals and stuff lately, it makes it worth it. So, all right, John, where can they find you online?
can find me at SeeWDW on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and SeeUO on Instagram and Facebook.
All right. You can find me at the Giant Rat, THEE Giant Rat, on pretty much all the socials. So that should do it for this one. We will see you on the next one.